believe we need this treaty to act globally. I can give you some examples. From here, I'm going to the United States, where I'm going to participate in a high-level summit on climate change to prepare the Copenhagen conference at the end of this year. In New York, I'm going to be on Monday. But then on Wednesday and Thursday, more exactly, I'll be in Pittsburgh, the G20. And it's quite obvious that alone, Ireland or Portugal, but even France or Germany or Britain, they will not have the possibility to influence events and to discuss in equal footing with Americans or with China or with Russia or with other parts of the world. But collectively we can make a real difference. We can make a real difference. And that's why I think it is important to give the European Union the means to act. And I can speak to you with the experience of 5 years leading the European Commission. Thank you for your congratulations. I was elected, in fact, this week. The first time I leave Brussels is precisely to come here to Limerick and to Ireland, because it is our priority. And in fact, we need a treaty that simplifies the way we take decisions at the European Union. Let me give you 1 or 2 examples. We now have 27 countries in our union, and the current treaties were adapted for 12, then maximum of 15 countries. The current rules do not respond to some of the challenges we have today. So I really believe we have to update the treaty. It also means, apart from those procedural things, a way of reinforcing our values by incorporating the Charter on Fundamental Rights into the treaty, and also to put some important issues now as global objectives of the Union. For instance, the issue of fighting climate change and sustainable development. Fighting climate change and sustainable development will become enshrined in the treaty objectives of the Union as such. The treaty will also help to protect workers' rights, contrary to some messages that I've seen here and there in some posters. The European Union has no power to set minimum wages, and the Lisbon Treaty does not change that, so it's completely false, intellectually dishonest, politically dishonest to suggest that the European Union can or should in any way reduce the wages of workers. We need to make the way the European Union works more democratic and accountable. That is why the treaty will give a bigger say to national parliament, to your Doyle and to your Shanad, who will be able to intervene in future European Union legislation if they feel any Commission proposal goes beyond the power granted to the European institutions. We need also to change, as I've said earlier, the way European Union works internationally. And what happens today is quite interesting. Just to give an example, this year, as President of the Commission, I've been working with different presidents of the Council, 4 presidents of the Council. Now it's the Swedish presidency, so I'm working with the Prime Minister of Sweden, but the first 6 months there were 3 presidents from the Czech Republic. 2 prime ministers, 1 president. Okay, but that was exceptional. Anyway, do you know any institution from a university to a rugby club that changes its president twice a year? Not, that's the way Europe is now. The president of the council changes. So just to give an example, Prime Minister Putin, when he was president of Russia, as president of Russia, he met 16 different presidents of the Council of the European Union. This is what is in the current treaties. Because he was there 8 years, 2 summits per year, 16 different presidents. How can we be respected? And how can our partners deal with us on a constant basis when we don't have a minimum of stability in some of our institutions? That's why I really believe the Lisbon Treaty is important also for coherence, for us to be respected, to protect our interest, and not only to protect our interest, to promote our values. Because I want to make that point clear. Europe is also about values, value of peace. After the war, that was the great process, the integration process of Europe, the value of freedom, the value of solidarity, to be able to have a strong European Union that can help developing parts of the world, people that still don't have enough to eat, they don't have clean water to drink, and the European Union can make, and is indeed making a lot of difference. But it can make much more if we are acting in a much more effective way. That is why we are indeed committed to this global reach.